Welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to full time. Arsenal make it comfortable with a 6-0 win against Lens. That is the most relaxed I've been watching Arsenal for a long time.
Yep, very nice, comfy, through top, just what we needed. I mean, heading into a December schedule, eliminate that game week 6 Champions League fixture as you know, rendered meaningless now, and get the job done. A bit of revenge on the cards because they're the only team to have taken points off us in this group. And we've done it emphatically.
Yeah. How much is it Arsenal going up levels in fluidity and attacking, let's say, efficiency, combinations, all that? And how much is it that Lens, actually to their credit, but it's kind of the little credit I'll give them because they obviously lost 6-0. They tried to actually take the game to us and not compromise on their principles.
I think it was more us that... You know what it is? They've mentioned in the past week or so, Arteta and Saka mentioned the whole doubling up in the Premier League and how difficult it is. Traffic, Arteta's mentioned and so on. In Europe, it's been very different. European teams set up differently against us. And so far this season, in the first few Champions League fixtures, or the majority of them anyway, we've been a lot more free-flowing, a lot more fluid, more chances being created than in the Premier League. And this was just another example of it. I mean, Lens' style definitely suits us because they don't know how to sit back. They don't know that side of the game. They just want to go for the jugular at all times. And when you have the players that we have and the youthfulness and exuberance that they showed last season, if they have opportunities like this, then I still want them to be able to take them, because that was a bit of a doubt in my mind whether we could still flick it back on and do what we done tonight. And we done it again. We do look at an incredibly coached team. Like when you, not to go down memory lane too much, when you just look at like the 4 years we've had Mikel Arteta, because we're approaching 4 years now, I think 2019 December he started. Yeah.
And you look at how the team's evolved from the formations to when we really started playing good football under him, to when we were a bit more pragmatic, to what we did last season, and now this, like a side that, even though we were 5-0 up for so much of that game, I think 5-0 was probably the most consistent score, the most, like the longest time we saw that scoreboard. And there was like a commitment to keep defending the whole time, to work back, to track back. Yeah. There was a certain standard to maintain the whole time. And he made the right substitutions, in my opinion. Players that needed some confidence and needed to get some momentum got that too. And you sit back and you go, like, I don't want to do too much because it's Lens, and Lens were poor, with all due respect. And I don't think they're having the best time in the league this season. But you can look at how far Arteta's taken this team when you just look at the goals, the commitment, the change in the squad, the change in the 11, and that we've just walked a group stage. I mean, when was the last time? Okay, 7 years ago we were in the Champions League, but it never felt like we were walking through the group stage, for those last 4 or 5 years we were in the Champions League, unless I'm remembering it wrong. We always got through.
Yeah. I can't remember off the top of my head how they used to go, but
there'd be a defeat to like Shakhtar Donetsk in there. There'd be like a bad night, at home to Anderlecht, or we drew 3-3. Moments like that make you go, okay, well this next one's nervy.
Yeah, because it felt like we was making up the numbers them times as well. And I think that had a part to play in it as well. We knew we wasn't competing for this even going. And listen, I'm not saying we know we're going to compete for it this season. What I'm saying is we've got a lot more hope and optimism now than we did in the final years of Arsene Wenger.
Yeah. Some comments coming in. Aku says, Saliba got cooked today. I actually said on my fan cam that he was probably the only not negative, but he was like, he was worked hard. He looked the only one who was actually kind of put through his paces. Everyone else seemed to really stroll through the game.
I wouldn't say he's got cooked though, because both times that he did, lose his man, he got back in front of him, and nothing happened from either opportunities that were created. So
yeah, exactly. And I like this from Gully Side says, Ben White has to lift his game. Tomiyasu was immense.
He was. I think if he stayed on longer, he was probably the candidate for man of the match for me.
Tomiyasu's inclusion in the team, I'm going to be really honest, right? And it's bad of me to say this. I think White and Zinchenko got to a level that I've been so impressed with, that like last season, for example, that Tomiyasu playing this season, I think maybe I've always subconsciously gone, it's tactical this time because we want, a taller, better defensive option at left back, or this time he's giving Ben White a rest. And actually at Brentford he started Tommy because Ben White wasn't fully fit to start. And, I kind of tell myself all these things. But then you look at tonight, Tommy keeping his place again, and you just stop and go, he's in that team because he deserves to be, because he is a starting fullback right now with the form he's on.
And I think him being taken off kind of shows how much his importance has grown.
Yeah.
Because usually we like to call for protection for maybe a Saka. Sometimes I even say, listen, Saliba's playing pretty much every game. But Tomiyasu was the one to be taken off at half time. I think that shows how much, Arteta trusts him, Arteta values him, and the role that he's played in our team so far this season. He's covered us adequately at left back, now right back. He just does a job.
Yeah, he does.
I think he played very well on the weekend as well.
Yeah, I thought he was good at Brentford.
I think he played very well on the weekend. So I think listen, under the radar, I don't mind. The more players that go under the radar for us, the better, because there's interest from Bayern Munich apparently.
Yeah, there is,
which I'm sure game time will help him.
Talks of a new contract needed.
Yeah,
because I don't think he's one of the highest earners of the club, and I wouldn't expect him to be, but I would.
If we can pay Cedric 100, I'm sure we can pay Tommy 100.
Is that what Cedric's on?
Yeah, but Eddie's on 100 as well. So I mean,
I get what you mean. Yeah, that's got to be readdressed.
He's a bit more reliable than him.
Yeah, just a touch.
Yeah.
When you look at that back four, let's call it White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko last year's back four. To have Kivior, Timber, and Tomiyasu as well, who can all cover basically all four of those positions, any one of those positions, apart from maybe Kivior at right back.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he could even play right centre back as he did at the end of last season. You're going, that's a pretty stacked back four. We just need, if we could just get Timber back. I mean, suddenly you're sort of thinking, where do the minutes come for all these players? But Tomiyasu's taking his opportunity, so good for him.
Yeah, it's hard to say where the minutes come from, because the season started with Ben White being moved centre back, Gabriel having been dropped. Then we've seen Zinchenko dropped for Tomiyasu, who seems to be more preferred. And now we're seeing Ben White, dropped or whatever it is. So it's hard to pinpoint exactly where Timber comes in. Going off the start of the season, you'd think that I don't know.
I think we thought left back because he looked so good on the ball. I think we thought, is he going to be the better defensive version of Zinchenko?
But you know what? Why that was even thrown into doubt for me? Because why start Partey right back then? Because surely you're not insinuating that Partey then becomes a third centre back.
Yeah.
Isn't he the one to invert? So
you're right.
Because that was just left field. That choice.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So we don't know yet, but I'm sure Timber's going to get minutes from what we know and seen of him.
Yeah, he looks class. Look, things are looking really good for Arsenal. We're going to take some calls. The way to do it, with a touch of a button, download the AFTV Plus app. When you go on Fanzone, you see a big blue sign, hit it says Fanzone, you can join us. It is that easy. You can have your say. That's what this show's all about, you having your say. Win, lose or draw, we are here. Thankfully, it was a win. It was a win wrapped up in about 15-20 minutes of football. Arsenal get the 6, and we want to hear from you. Let me just check. We've got some super chats. I'll just quickly go through those. Giuseppe says, what the hell did Tommy eat today? Cook some more. Yeah, give him that's whatever he had. Whatever he's doing right, keep it going. He's looking brilliant. Ricky says, when Turkish mentioned at the end, quote marks, leave the celebrations to Bayern and Real Madrid, I was immediately reminded of 10-2s, our last exits. So happy Arteta is focusing on getting us defensively stronger. In fact, no goals conceded at the Emirates in the Champions League this season. So we're doing our thing there as well. Just before we do take callers, I know you're all waiting, but I'll give you more time to jump into Fanzone. Go do that now. I actually want to ask you about just some individual players, because I know we're going to get everyone's thoughts on these as well. Kai Havertz today. If I were to ask you to give him a rating out of 10, what would you give him? It's not a loaded question. I'm genuinely just curious.
7?
Yeah, I'd have gone 7 to 8, but probably 7. Which is good / very good.
Yeah, I think that's quite good. Yeah.
Because I said, we asked everyone on the sofa what their targets for him were, and I said, look, it's not so much about getting goals. If you do, great. And he scored a Kai Havertz goal, we've been told to expect of him, which is making runs into the box, and fair play to him. What he did, he facilitated everything. He won the ball in midfield, and within 3 touches, Martinelli was in having a shot, I think, and then it comes off Saka in the back of the net. He kept everything moving, and actually the few times he lost the ball, it wasn't incompetence, it was him trying a little more to try and put himself into, he was trying a little sort of drag back and things like that. I'm going, I don't mind that. You're trying things, because we're 4-5 up, and you're trying to like find that little bit more class, that little bit more something in midfield. So I'm more than happy to be patient for that. My thing is when you're trying to do the simple things, pass at a good tempo, keep things moving, don't feel like you're slowing down attacks, and let's see the team looking as fluid and sort of going through the motions. And I thought he absolutely got to the level of the other players on the pitch today.
So do I. I don't think he looked out of place, and that's been something I've used against him, because he has been considerably poorer than some of the players out there throughout the whole of this season. But tonight, I think he played a strong part in the game. Didn't do much, and I do expect more in terms of, aside from the goal. I mean, he did keep things ticking. You know, he passed well. His physicality was still there, and he was trying the special things in football, let's say, which I don't mind, especially when you're 3-4-0 up. I like that. And when you look at the Havertz at Bayer Leverkusen, he thrived off of the special things. So I don't mind trying to find that in games where we're comfortably winning. But for me, it's 2 goals in the last 2 games, and if he can produce for us in that manner, then it's still something, and that something is potentially massive come end of the season.
Yeah, I hope so. I like his... Do you know what's so funny? He moves on the ball like Ozil. You know, that kind of like...
laid back type of...
That's what before you all start, you know. Like, you know, that kind of like almost... He looks like he's showing a bit too much of the ball because he kind of... He's quite nonchalant with it.
Yeah.
But he's got this... off the ball, there is an intensity. Like I can't deny he is trying.
Yeah.
It might not look naturally to him because he's not built like a monster, and he's, you know, even though he's 6'4" tall, but so is Gabriel, and he doesn't look as big. He doesn't fill out the shirt as much, but he definitely puts his body about, and his positioning seems quite good on and off the ball. If we can just hone that ability on the ball, which I think he believes he has, the things he was trying, his kind of style of play, I think he believes that he can be a very comfortable in possession player. If we can get him up to that level, then hopefully he starts to complement that midfield great. And then you've got Rice and Partey, the options look great. I still believe there's talent in Vieira. Do I want another midfielder in January? I absolutely do. But there are also loads of players who could be fighting right now to claim that position. And I'm glad to see Havertz have a performance that suggested he was fighting to claim it.
Yeah, and fingers crossed, you know, he does claim it. Someone claims it. I mean, I don't care who claims it.
I know what you mean, yeah.
It'd be nice if it's Havertz. It'd be nice if it's Vieira. It'd be nice if Smith Rowe comes back and claims it. The sooner the better someone claimed it, the better for us, in my opinion.
Completely agree. All right, let's get to your callers. Everyone want to hear what you have to say. Give us your man of the match. Just give us your thoughts on the game as a whole. And also, have we just walked the groups? Everyone said, yeah, but wait till you're in the Champions League, it's going to be tricky. Or we've managed to get it secured, top spot, with a game to go, as we're sitting top of the Premier League table. That doesn't mean to say, you know, that Arsenal have cracked the code. We haven't won this competition before, but we've definitely put ourselves in a really good position that a lot of people said we might struggle to manage. Let's get our first caller. Who's joining us? Hey, how are you? What's your name?
I'm Ilhan from Australia. How you going?
Yeah, Good to meet you. Have we had you on before, Neil?
Ilhan.
Ilhan. No, first time caller, long time listener.
What did I say? Sorry.
You said Neil.
Oh, I just completely
You had a Cecil moment.
Sorry. Ilhan.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know why I called you Neil. I must have just not heard properly.
That's okay, mate. No problem.
Fair enough.
It's not okay. He's butchering Turkish names out here. That's not fine in my book.
I'm going to blame the headphones.
Yeah.
Neil.
Give it to him, Turkish. Give it to him.
Neil, check this guy out.
Remotely close. I'm Ilhan. Great to meet you, Smith. Right. So how are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good.
Look, comfortable, right? Not just the game, the Champions League group. I know we lost in Lens, but what a great response to that.
Oh, look, it's. I guess I was just telling my mates over over messaging that it was probably the first game I watched where I was comfortable. I was laid back. I went to the coffee. I went to the coffee machine to make it.
We can hear you, Ilhan.
Yeah, you're coming through.
Yeah, you can hear me. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm just hearing some background noise. Yeah, it was the first time I could, enjoy myself. It was a really comfortable win, and I think we're in a really good place at the moment as supporters and as a club.
100%.
Havertz, he came to the party today.
Oh, look, I'm sort of on the fence with Havertz. I agree with a lot of what Turkey shares, and I also agree with, the positive sides of Havertz as well. And I think he is progressing. I wouldn't be putting him in a first 11 if I was the manager, but I think the last few games have given me optimism to potentially consider him, if you get my drift.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think everyone's...
But I think...
Go on.
He's doing his job. He's doing his job. I'm not sure what he's been asked to do, but he seems to be laying off the players, and he seems to be in the right positions. I just feel like things are in slow motion with him. That's my only gripe with Havertz.
Do you guys watch Dragon's Den?
Yeah.
Have you watched Dragon's Den, Ilhan?
No.
So, for anyone who hasn't watched it, it's a show where people come with business ideas, and then they have a bunch of really rich investors in front of them, and they pitch it to these investors, and they hope one of the investors... Now, so often what you get in Dragon's Den, and you'll know what I'm talking about, is they will pitch, they'll say, I want a certain amount of money for 10% of the business, and then they go, well, you're valuing it at way more than it's worth. And I feel like we're having this moment where we're almost the Dragons, and Arteta is the guy who spent 65 million on Havertz, and he's basically saying, I know you saw 3 years of him underwhelming at Chelsea, and now I've spent 65 million pounds on him, and I know what I've pitched to you so far in this early part of the season isn't looking great, but please invest your stocks because he will get there. And today's performance was the closest I've seen to understanding how he might be moulded into the player Arteta sees in that left 8. But it feels like as fans, we're almost saying, we're not saying there's nothing there. We're just saying the amount we have to get over, which is the price tag, what he did at Chelsea, the fact he's former Chelsea, the fact that money could have gone on other players, is what we have to get over. So even though he did well tonight, it's kind of unfortunate for him. There is just a mountain to climb. Like, there just is. Whether he kind of likes it or not, there is a lot of changing minds, turning heads, turning the direction of travel for him. Yeah.
No, look, I agree, and I think, like everybody else, I would love to be proved wrong, and I would love to see Havertz succeed at Arsenal. It's just, the first 10 matches or so, he just hasn't really shown what the price tag, sort of should indicate. But I think there is potential there, and I'd love to be proven wrong because it'll benefit Arsenal and us.
Yeah,
I agree. Ilhan, just very quickly, your man of the match?
It's probably the hardest game to choose a man of the match, but if I'm going to think of someone, I'm going to say Martinelli.
Martinelli for you, fair enough.
Why not?
Fair enough.
Yeah, Martinelli.
Yeah, he was involved. He always is. Ilhan, thank you so much.
Love, bro.
Thank you. Represent Team Turkish.
Come on, hadi. Kendine iyi bak Ilhan.
I called him Neil.
I know, you're mad.
Right.
You're mad. That's worse than Monroe.
No, come on.
But his name's Ilhan and you said Neil.
I didn't hear.
At least this guy got Monroe from Moreno.
No, hold on. He read that as Monroe. He read Moreno and went Monroe.
And he told you Ilhan and you said,
I didn't
welcome,
hear
Neil.
I didn't hear him. Oh, man.
I just gave him an English name. Just said, fuck it, here you go, Neil.
What's your name? I'm Ilhan. Neil, welcome to the show. Who's our next caller? Hey, how you doing?
Yes.
How are you guys?
Oh, good.
Welcome back, man. Welcome back. How you feeling?
Well,
good
man.
win.
Thank you, guys. I'm feeling great. This was one of those games that, I think being that the PSV game had already ended, so we knew the result from that, it almost felt like the players came in and they said, let's handle business. Let's get this wrapped up. And one of the best things about the game, in my opinion, was we were able to see Declan Rice walk off the pitch, Saka walk off the pitch. The game was decided. Those two guys, in my opinion, Declan Rice, he's a professional, makes a lot of money, but the guy needs a break, So he got off the pitch early. And guys, honestly, the reason I really wanted to come on today was I didn't expect you guys to talk about it at the start of the show, but just want to give a shout out to Tomiyasu, man. That guy, he has been given an opportunity and he's responded. And, just to answer your question, James, to the last caller, my man of the match, regardless that he played a half, was him. I thought he played great.
He got a lot of votes in the poll we did as well, yeah.
Left back, right back. We've seen him invert this season and pop up against Man City in the final third.
He played centre back away at Brentford in the cup, I think.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, incredibly versatile player. And look, he's got to be feeling it, right? Because he's playing in a team that are thriving, in a team that is set up to get the best out of the defenders we have, so he is flourishing. There was a point last season where him starting at left back against Liverpool was a bit of a weird, why would you start him there moment when you got Kieran Tierney. Now it's completely the norm. In fact, it's some people's favoured go-to in terms of our back four. So he's really made that his own. You've got links to Bayern Munich. There's talks of a new contract. He's going to be absolutely loving it. And the thing that people forget about Tomiyasu, he's only 24, I think.
He's young.
He's really young.
Yeah, he is young.
24, 25,
He's really
maybe.
young. He came at 22. And he kind of blew us away in that first half of season when he arrived. Then the injuries. And then the only thing anyone ever had against him was he basically can't stay fit. And I'll put my hands up. I'm one of these people. If a player can't stay fit, I can't pretend it doesn't change how I look at them. I'd be fighting tooth and nail for Thomas Partey to be considered a world-class player if he could stay fit, because I think he gets to that level sometimes.
Yeah.
I'd probably be wrong, but hey, shameless. But it changes my opinion so much, because if you can't see players' availability, then I just sort of discount them as like a regular important member of the squad.
Yeah.
But Tomiyasu is proving his fitness and is looking sublime this season.
I mean, and when Timber comes back, if you think about it, if we have all our defenders fully healthy, I mean, we are stacked in the back.
Yeah.
We are really, really stacked. And even Kivio, we see little moments from him, but lately, the last couple matches that he's gotten time, I mean, the kid looks good.
That was a good cameo, I thought.
Nothing fabulous. Yeah,
Press
nothing
hard up the
fabulous,
pitch,
but he looks good. Yeah, I think he looks good.
Well, he looks exactly what I'd want from a younger, less experienced backup left centre back who can also play left back. He comes into the team comfortably. He defends really well. I thought he looked really good in that mini run-in he had when Holding came out of the team, because basically the title was lost by that point. Kivio came in, and you were like, yeah, this guy obviously should have been playing the whole time, and now Rob Holding can't get minutes at Palace. You think, what a missed opportunity that was.
It's very true.
Yeah, it is. Gabby Jesus finding his best form as well. Working towards it, let's say.
Yes, and my only issue with Jesus, honestly, is this injury track record. I'm not one that I know I hear a lot. Everyone wants to get a striker in January. I'm kind of on the other end of it, where if we get a striker in January, that's great. I truly, truly don't believe that we have to get a striker in January. I feel like we can wait for the summer and try to really get a big one. There's a guy named Mbappe out there. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he may be available.
Yeah, I've heard of him once or twice.
I think we need another midfielder in January. That's what I feel. And I don't know. I the last time I was here, I kind of posed the question to you guys where, the fluidity thing that we talk about all the time. And it's, I'm still kind of grasping to that, where we bring in someone like Tony but if we're still not creating chances, how good will he be? Does he change the dynamic up front? Of course. But I still think that I think we can go really far in Champions League. And I'm still standing behind it. I'm with James. We're going to win the league this year. And I believe that, as granted, as long as Jesus stays healthy, but if he stays healthy, I just don't see no reason why we can't win it. I don't. It almost feels like we're starting to slowly kick into form. We're not the dynamic, explosive offense from last year. But at the end of the day, look, goals win games, defenses win championships. It's always been that way.
Yeah, I love it. It looks like we're definitely playing on that. So big thanks for joining us as always, man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. See you guys.
Catch you soon.
Take care of yourself, bro.
See this whole can we win the title and all that? I feel like it's too basic to just ask you, do you think we can? But when every title every title winner I've ever seen, luck has been on their side with injuries. I don't think I can remember a team that's been riddled with injuries and they've won the title. So to a degree, you've got to maintain that consistency. You've got to have a bit of fortune in terms of the injuries. It's not just fortune, it's also how you manage the players and all that. Granted, it's not all luck. Do you think a fully fit Arsenal, say we go into the new year, minimum a point or two off City. Obviously we're ahead of them now, but we're at least a minimum a point or two. But Partey and Timber come back. Maybe we add 1 or 2 in January. I mean, providing we stay fit, does that not feel like a squad that can win the title to you? Because it does to me.
I found that last season we can win the title.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to argue that, but my point is, if after 30 games you're top of the league, you can win the title.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether you won it or not. Listen, you can't be vexed about the end of last season if you didn't think we can in the first place.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
We got to a place where the majority of the Arsenal fan base, even the most pessimistic and negative, thought we can. We didn't. It doesn't mean we couldn't have. We should have.
Yeah.
So I think we can win the title, hence the expectation going into this season. The expectation was far greater than last season, the year before that, and probably the last 15 years before that. So of course we can win the title. I don't need us to be in with a shout in January to say we can. I can say it now. I could have said it game week 1. We can win the title. Will we? Man City are there. Become very difficult because they are the favourites. But we can.
Where do you sit on Liverpool?
Liverpool have shown, good stuff this season. I think, in all honesty, I still expect to finish above Liverpool. And I think that they will be there or thereabouts. But in the end, I don't expect Liverpool to push City as much as we do this season.
No, I think I agree with you. I think, granted, with our injuries, it doesn't, that being Timber missing, Partey missing, it doesn't kind of, well, I'm about to say it doesn't translate as well, but I feel like that number 6 is still a big position for Liverpool. I don't think anyone has claimed that number 9 and left side. I understand their front 3 can score goals, but first you have to decide who that front 3 is. What you mean is Mo Salah can score goals. So I do have question marks there. But yeah, I think we're absolutely in the fight. We'll ask a couple more questions to you that then we're going to bring to the rest of our callers. Remember, download, there it is, Fanzone. Just get the A2 Plus app and you can join some Fanzone. It's super easy to do. You click it and you're in the green room.
Simple.
One of our amazing members of production will chat to you and get you on the show for your thoughts. Well, I want to ask you and everyone else who's about to jump on. Arteta spent £170 million on Declan Rice and Kai Havertz. He gave the armband to Ødegaard, new contracts to Martinelli and Saka, and Jesus he made his marquee number 9 signing. Is this our best team that we saw tonight? Okay, you maybe white for Tomiyasu, but is that our best 11 in Arteta's eyes? Not in yours, but did Arteta feel that 11 going, finally, for the first time this season, I fielded my best team?
Maybe. Obviously, you said Timber aside, then I'd say yeah. I think Partey was slowly but surely faded out of the plans anyway. Hence why we saw him right back at the start of the season. So I think the midfield's philosophy, the midfield, development was always going to be Rice, Havertz, Ødegaard. So I guess he looks at it like, yeah, this is the strongest. Even, listen, it's his choice to pick Tomiyasu over White. So for him, this is the strongest side that he's had to pick from for a long time.
I can't help but think, while for me, Rice in the 8 with Partey is still what I'd want to see in big games.
I'd want to see, but I don't think that is or was his plan.
You've long talked about Arteta's final version of this team, and you felt last season, as good as we were, you didn't feel that was his final version.
Yeah.
While I don't think our best team has Havertz in it, I think it's Ødegaard, Partey, Rice, I think his final version is a Havertz player, someone who maybe has a bit of physical presence but has a lot of final third output. And I can't help but think these striker links, I don't think it's smoke without fire. I think, listen, I'm not trying to kick the can down the road and make excuses. None of that. I've said we'll win the league this season. I've said that, so this isn't excuses. But I think it's next season where I think for the first time, by the time that transfer window shuts next summer, he'll look at his squad and he'll go, there. That is now. It's about constantly, in terms of the marquee striker, the the £100 million central midfielder, the back four, the goalkeeper who's always wanted, and all that. And I think that team will have Havertz and Rice in it. Yeah, so I think this is tonight was an idea of what he wants Arsenal long term to look like.
Yeah,
I think
so too, and I think I'm with you on the no smoke without fire regarding the striker stuff. The reports recently, Osimhen is still in the mind. Very loose reports that we're weighing up whether we can financially offer Mbappe anything come the end of the season.
I saw those reports. Yeah,
these are all things I want to hear, and these are all things that we should do. I mean, I always used to say we have no divine right to sign the best talent in the world, but I think a club the size of Arsenal, with the history of Arsenal and all the resources we have and the attraction we have, I feel like trying is the bare minimum.
We should be making those phone calls and finding out. And when those reports come out, it sounds silly. Like, obviously, fans take this weird pride in, we beat you to this signing, but it's like, who cares? But I would rather, if Liverpool do a madness and sign Mbappe, I would like that report to say he chose Liverpool over Arsenal, rather than, Liverpool were the only suitors in the Premier League. Arsenal never came in with the offer. Like, I'd much rather see we tried.
100%.
And then where it went wrong, well, okay, that's another debate. But I want to see us in the mix for the very
100%,
best.
100%. We have to.
Yeah, we do have to be. Right, let's get our next caller. I want to ask that question about our best 11. Who have we got joining us?
Hello.
We've met you before.
Yeah.
Welcome to the channel. How are you?
Hello. How are you both?
Yeah, good. Havertz stepped up. Hey, Havertz.
I know. That's kind of why I wanted to come on, because I wanted to say that I'm really proud of Havertz.
Auntie Talia, proud of Havertz.
Yeah, Turkish. How was it when Havertz's goal went in?
Oh, I couldn't believe he scored that one. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, I was on the edge of my seat. No, I'm happy for him, man. 2 goals in 2 games. That's it. Kick on from here. I hope you're right come the end of the season, Tally. That's why. Listen, I hope you are right. But if you're not, then message me the same way you messaged me today when Havertz did score.
Yeah, I did. I messaged you the message. Well, it was a gif of Havertz, so I felt very proud of doing that. I've come from the game, so
nice.
That's what I had to do when I was at the game.
Nice.
Talia, a couple of things. Obviously, you're very happy about Havertz. Do you think this is Arteta's idea of our best 11? £170 million in midfield. Actually, £200 million midfield that he's assembled of Rice, Ødegaard, Havertz. The front 3 firing, Jesus brought straight into the 11. No minutes for Trossard in the false 9 today, or starting on the weekend. He was in midfield. Eddie hasn't started the last 2. Is this Arteta finally building towards what he believes is our best 11?
Yeah, I do. I think it is. And I think it's interesting because obviously the last game we played, we all thought that this was what we were looking for with the starting 11. And then today came out and it just, you knew it was going to be a strong squad and you knew it was going to be a great game. You can see it's all, I guess we learn from our mistakes. And that's, I guess, what he's been doing, isn't it? The most of the season, he's, been figuring it out.
A lot of chopping and changing. Yeah, I agree. We've made quite a light work of the Champions League group as well. There was a little bit of debate. It's funny because I'm the optimistic fan, supposedly, but I'm also the one that goes, no, it's not as easy as everyone thinks, blah, blah. I don't know why. I was just protecting myself, I guess. I don't know why. But we made light work. Like PSV away was proving to be one of the stickier ties we'd have had, and now it doesn't matter. And that's great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do think, and I even on the way back actually said that I think of the draws to get for Champions League, we probably did have a slightly easier group. But at the end of the day, it's still Champions League. Any of the teams that have made it to Champions League, it's going to be difficult. Obviously we lost to Lens last time, so to kind of come away with 6 goals was nice. Let's say it was nice. Yeah,
Tosin spoke about revenge, and I think he certainly got that. To be fair 100%. To him. Also,
did you see Zinchenko pulled Martinelli away when Martinelli went to celebrate his goal by the away fans?
No.
Yeah. Martinelli, we saw he went straight over, but I think Zinchenko kind of was like, no, not again.
But what do you mean not again? Why? What did he?
They kept celebrating by the away fans.
I didn't even notice that.
Oh, was it? Because I saw a picture that I think there were some flares in the ground, right?
Yeah, there was.
I don't know. I wonder if there had been a conversation like with some of the senior players. Basically, like if you're going to celebrate goals, don't do it over there. I don't know, maybe. But Zinni getting involved, fair enough. Also, I actually want to ask you about there was a super chat. Apparently, Mikel Arteta's delighted with the win, but there was a super chat after the watch along. Of course, he's delighted, 1-6-0. But there was a super chat in the last watch along asking whether maybe there was disappointment. The fact a lot of fans left quite early. Did it feel like the Emirates emptied quite quickly?
It's actually interesting because at half time, a lot of people were still kind of not sat in their seats yet at the beginning of kickoff for the half time, but I think that's more because people were probably relaxed.
Having a drink and enjoying, you're 5-0 up. We'll be back in a second.
Everyone was having a drink at half time, just enjoying themselves. And I think, I did notice the last 5 or 10 minutes, maybe, it started to empty out quite a bit, which I don't understand. Even if you're still winning 6-0 or however many nil, I don't understand why people are leaving. Because don't you want to watch all the way to the end, personally? But
I just think because it's a work night, midweek, kids, all that.
It's excuses. It's excuses.
No, but 6-0, like, it's job done.
So you would leave early?
These fans, sorry, I hiccuped. These fans, I spend a lot of money if they want. No, I wouldn't. I'm a stay and clap. And then everyone at AFTV is like, bro, you got to run Fanzone, right? But I'm a stay and clap. Well done to the team. Who was it used to do the lap of? There used to be someone who'd do a lap of the pitch. I can't remember. Was it Sanya used to do? I can't remember. But like, I would stay. But I kind of get it. I get it when you're 6-0 up and top spot is confirmed and it's job done. Like on a Wednesday night, I can't begrudge them that too much.
I don't know. You can wake up on a Thursday morning and be happy, even if you're late for work. It's, you watched your team win 6-0.
I don't know if every boss is
I don't know if everyone can get away with that.
Yeah. Why are you late? I'm just vibing. I
actually have a question for Turkish. Did you enjoy, being on the watch along with Cecil?
Oh, what kind of question is this? What have you heard?
I haven't heard anything.
Look at this guy. This picture's going to follow me around. Why is it following me around, though?
No.
That's a great picture. I saw that earlier on Instagram.
Look at
Of course you'd think that's a great picture. Listen, it's not a picture of me, so I don't care what he's doing.
This was 2 minutes before, like, a big meeting amongst a lot of us to discuss content and, like, what the coming weeks looks like and everything. And there he is, just merrily, just sort of looking forward to a match day. Good on him. Talia, thank you for joining us. We'll see you soon. Thanks for calling.
I am just going to say quickly, I've said it before plenty of times, but I agree with James. We're going to win the league, so.
Hope you're right. Hope you're both right.
I hope we're right. I think we are right.
Enjoy.
Take care.
See you soon. Yeah, the Emirates crowd thing, like, I'm not going to make some big thing of it. I know I've asked the question, so it probably sounds like I'm making a big thing of it. I just saw it brought up. I get it. Like, fans pay a lot of money. I think when it's a tight game and fans leave early, I still completely understand that everyone's got their own individual situation. You can't always know why people are leaving, but when fans are leaving en masse, I tend to think, see it out. Like, if it's a tight game or whatever. To be honest, I've been there where Arsenal have been absolutely battered and I've just gone, you know what, I'm just going to stay and show my support or whatever, and then I'll do my moaning after. But yeah, Wednesday night, like, the thing is, these kickoffs aren't that ideal. I mean, there are 8:15 kickoffs at times. Like, I think there was a Premier League kickoff that was an 8:15. It's like, why? They should all be 7:30.
Probably
7:30, game done by 9:30. Everyone's back by 10:30, 11, or wherever they're heading off to. Okay, some have longer journeys, but come on.
I remember when Champions League games used to be 7:45.
That was like a year ago.
Yeah.
And now they're sort of all 8 o'clocks. Is that what they've just settled on? So I've just been told that we've got Luton at 8:15 next week.
There you go. What's that, Tuesday or Wednesday? Wednesday.
What justification have they got for that extra 15 minutes?
Probably TV. It's definitely something to do with TV.
Well, so that maybe they want to get people watching the first 45 minutes of another game they have live? Is that the idea?
Something along those lines, for sure.
Let me have a little look.
That's what I was about to do. And I've just seen Copenhagen got a point away to Bayern, so that means that...
No.
Yeah, so that means Copenhagen and Galatasaray are a point ahead of United. So if either team wins that game, then United are out of the Champions League.
Copenhagen got a point at Bayern.
Yeah, we will be there. We will be there.
Wow. So just quickly, the permutations for that group, United have to beat Bayern to go on 7 points. Copenhagen and Galatasaray, if they draw, stay on 6. So basically, United need a win and hope that neither one of those two. So Copenhagen and Galatasaray are in a straight shootout for second spot.
Yeah.
If Copenhagen get second, that is a phenomenal effort.
I just want someone to win that game. That's all I want. Just one of you fucking winning. Don't end up in a draw, please. Not that I think Man United are going to beat Bayern anyway, to be honest with you. So we will be there, man.
Actually, just thinking, right? If of course, no. If Copenhagen win, they go on 8. Yeah, cool, fine. All right, back to it. Sorry, I've got some super chats I've been ignoring. Apologies. Let's go through them. Rye, always a regular on the show. Ryan, hope you're good. There's Turkish and James, phenomenal performance from the Gunners tonight. I feel like we play a lot more fluid in the Champions League compared to the Premier League, as not all teams know our complete style. The whole team was fire. Credit to Mikel Arteta with the substitutions tonight, taking off Rice and Saka with so many fixtures to come. Gabriel tackled towards the end shows the mentality of this team at the moment. Never say die, solid and consistent. Would call in, but I'm on my last shift tonight. Enjoy your last shift, and thank you for the super chats and for joining us as always, Ryan. Always great to get your thoughts. Tommy says 12 points and goal difference plus 12. Statement sent. Ibby says controlled in the Prem and fluid in the Champions League. The opposite to last year, where we weren't exactly controlled in the Europa. We were just a bit boring.
Yeah, very boring at times.
Very boring at times, yeah.
All of that rotation didn't help one bit.
No, completely agree. Let's get our next caller. I still want to ask this question about our best 11. Who's next? Hey, Dini, how are you, my friend?
Right, James, right, Turkish.
What are you saying,
We
man?
haven't slagged you off on this show, so.
Yo, you haven't slagged me off this time, James, you mean?
It wasn't
What
my
happened?
fault. Have you not heard about last Fanzone?
Nah.
So basically, Robbie calls on Fanzone, and we're there going, he's like, by the way, there's someone here who always calls in. We've got Dini here. I'm like, Dini? I'm like, oh, so Dini, now he's got a fan cam, well, he's not going to join our show. And I was basically slagging him off.
Okay. He ditched the
Anyway,
Fanzone.
I then get Ryan in my ear go, Dini's here. So it cuts to Dini, who's like in his bedroom. And I'm like, what's going on? And then we come back to Robbie, goes, oh, I meant Ryan. And then Ryan's there sort of waving. And Dini then goes, last time I went to the game, I still called it on Fanzone rather than fan cam. So I felt really bad. But also, like, obviously, if you had done that, you'd have deserved it. So it's not my fault.
I hear it. It goes both ways.
What are you saying, though, man?
Talk to us. How you doing?
No, I'm all good. And you know what? What's funny about tonight? We still, even though we won 6-0, we still didn't even look scintillating. And you know what? I'm very, very happy about that. When seeing us coming back into the Champions League at the beginning of the season, I thought, you know what, even if we do qualify, I thought we would qualify for the Champions League. I just didn't think we'd be top of the Premier League as well. And the fact that we're top of the Premier League at this point and qualified top of our Champions League, and we don't even look great, I couldn't ask for anything better right now. And in terms of the performance as well, yeah, I'm happy, just happy. I'm happy Kai Havertz has scored again. I still want to see a bit more drive from him at the same time as well. I think there was a couple of times in that game where he could have just turned into the space and just run into the channels a bit, but he turns back. But still, he's getting himself about, and I'm not going to complain too much. Overall, I don't really. I'm happy. I'm happy. In terms of is this Arteta's best 11? It could be because these are the players he's definitely brought in. Gabriel, Jesus, and Zinchenko. He's brought them in from Man City because he knows about their leadership and experience, especially playing under Pep and winning those titles and being in the Champions League. Declan Rice, the lighthouse, and you know Arteta likes a light bulb, and Declan Rice is his man at the end of the day. Kai Havertz, he's still got time to go, but if it does work, that midfield could be very, very brilliant in the future. It could be, but for now, this is a good statement for Arteta in what he wants to go forward to see from his chosen 11. And at the same time, we still have quality players to come back in. So right now, we're in a brilliant, comfortable position, and I can't complain right now.
You said the word statement. I've heard the word statement thrown around a few times. I don't want to overstate Sevilla, who've been really poor in this group. PSV, who we battered in the opening game.
But for some reason, sorry to interrupt you, James. I'm pretty sure it's fine on the stream and it's on YouTube, but for some reason the sound keeps going in and out. And I know it's fine for everyone else, but for some reason, I'm not sure if it's my phone or something, but
we'll get
I can
production.
hear you now for some reason, but it just keeps going in and out.
Oh, we'll get production to have a quick look at that, but hopefully, yeah, I'm sure it's all right. or it might fix itself. But on what you were saying about statement, I'm not that I think a lot of the European giants, Bayern, Real Madrid, Man City, not that they'll kind of be looking at our group and go, wow, Arsenal are top, that's really impressive. But have we done something to send a statement in terms of, again, statement strong, but just to say, listen, like, we can handle the Champions League. Like, and I know that there's bigger tests to come, but we've not made a meal of this group. We've not made it more awkward than it needed to be. We've not shown any kind of return to Champions League nerves. We haven't sort of struggled with the weight of 2 games a week, our first 11 going out twice a week. Like, we've handled it very well. And I know that we should have, and I know that, like, nothing here is surprising. This is just the bare minimum we should have expected. But 6-0, 4-0, 2-0 at home, not conceding a single goal, winning 2-1 away at Sevilla, looking very good. Real Madrid had just drawn their 1-1. There's something to be said for the way Arsenal have just really calmly just got on with it, where they weren't looking good in Europe, in the Europa League in previous years with Arteta.
I feel like you're both
I've got the gist of most of what you're saying. Basically, is a statement for what we've come in for. And at the end of the day, do you know what? We went to PSV, we won 4-0. We went to Sevilla, another tough cauldron, we won. Is it 2-0 or 2-1? We won in Seville or something, I believe.
2-1.
In general, yes. And whether the other big guns are looking at us, not necessarily right now. And you know, I don't even mind that right now. Let us just quietly go about our business. We qualified top, and let's just see who we get in the last 16. I would rather be us right now, but definitely than someone like Man United. Because even if roles were reversed right now, we was in Man United's group, I would still expect us to finish at minimum second in that group, at minimum. So the fact that we are still getting the job done right now after not being in Champions League for so long, it's still it's a statement regardless. But it's a calm statement. It's we're going about our business quietly.
Yeah, fair enough. Just very quickly, we're talking about these kickoffs. There is Man United Chelsea is also an 8:15 kickoff.
Same day?
No, that's the Wednesday. So our day is just Wolves Burnley at 7:30. So 45 minutes gap between them. It's a bit of a weird one. Quickly, man of the match, Dini, as well. Actually, and I also wanted to get your thoughts on that, on the Champions League state. So go on, Dini.
Wait, thoughts on man of the match or?
Sorry, man of the match. Sorry, the man of the match for you. I've asked 2 questions at the same time. I'm a terrible host. Man of the match for you.
You know, I'm going to go Declan Rice. I'm going to get it to Declan Rice. Another solid performance, and he can't do any wrong. Declan Rice.
He did a double tackle in the second half, which cracked me up. Like, he made a really good tackle, and as he was picking himself up, it got to another player who's driving through, and he stuck another leg out to make a tackle. I'm like, this guy's just everywhere. It's incredible.
Can I just say something before I go? Can I just say something about Saka? Another game where he hasn't performed great, but he still managed to get an assist and a goal. It's very great numbers for him. And it's, again, we're not playing great, but we're still getting those numbers. Happy.
What is that film for the season? Have a little look. Thank you so much for joining us. Love as always.
Love Dini. As always, Turkish. James, take care.
Take care, yourself.
Catch you in a bit, man. I wanted your thoughts on what we were just saying about the Champions League kind of statement. Like,
I don't think it's a statement. I think we've done what we should have done. I don't think it's a statement. Yeah, I mean, I look at Brentford game as a bigger statement because it's after City, Liverpool. It was our chance to go ahead of them, albeit very early in the season. But
has it not been even more comfortable than you expected, or is this really what you think we just should have done, even though it's been a long time, these players haven't played Champions League before?
I said at the bare minimum, you win this group after 5 games, having won 4 and lost 1. At the bare minimum, I thought that 1 loss might come away at Sevilla, not away at Lens. But in the end, 5 games in, we've won 4, lost 1, and we're through.
Fair enough.
So I feel like, it's long. I mean, when you say statement, essentially you're insinuating other teams are threatened, maybe.
Yeah.
Do you think Real Madrid, Man City, and Bayern Munich are threatened there? No. You know, we've got a long way to go until they feel threatened. So partly, these kind of performances and results consistently over seasons, will lead to them feeling more threatened.
This is where social media is so distorting, because you're right. These clubs won't give a they'll just be like, oh cool, well done, you topped a group you should have topped.
Yeah.
But there was so much discourse going into this season, mainly from rival fans. Saka's not world class and he's done it in the Champions League. Well, 3 goals, 4 assists in the groups. I know what they're saying. He needs to do it in the knockouts. But come on, what? So he scored against Lens, and what? That's going to cement how we feel. Whether you think he's world class or not, doing it in the groups in the Champions League isn't going to be the difference maker. There's a lot of talk about Arsenal and their first 11 being able to play twice a week, because last season we didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of things, like, have we sent a statement to the doubters, whether it be fans, media, whoever, just to say, like, we have built up to this and we are ready for it. All of you who thought we kind of just accidentally fell into the Champions League last year because we had a good season and a surprise title run, like, that's an unfair assessment. Like, we have built up to this moment and we're ready, and now we've gone and proven it. You know, we can get to the knockouts, and we've done that very comfortably. Just a reminder, Bukayo Saka, 7 goals, 10 assists in 19 games this season. And by the way, there is a picture we wanted to show, because AFTV are celebrating the win on Twitter. Top of the league, top of the group. I mean, that's our colleague.
Yeah, I don't know how I've lasted this long.
Loving life, I don't blame him. That's 4 goals, 5 assists in the Premier League, 3 goals, 4 assists in 5 Champions League games for Bukayo Saka. What a player. Let's get our next caller. Actually, I want to start looking ahead to the Champions League knockouts as well. So who's joining us? Hey, how you doing?
James Turkish, how you been?
Oh, good, man.
Good, man. Good to have you back.
Yeah. Good to be back.
That's the away kit from about 2-3 years ago, right?
It's got all the red streaks all over it. Yeah,
Marble Hall's one.
Yeah.
I thought it was a slightly underrated kit, that.
It's all right.
Yeah, that's some good kits that we've given them bad seasons in. Let's. I want to look ahead to the knockouts, because we're there now. We're there and we're top, and you know it's not. I'm not jinxing anything. Nothing can change that unless some last minute charges come our way. Who knows in the world of football now? Let me just read you some of the teams currently sitting second. It could be Copenhagen or Galatasaray. Can't be Man United, even if they nick second. So it could be Copenhagen, Galatasaray. Could be Napoli. Could be Inter Milan or Sociedad if they leapfrog them. Could be Lazio. Could be PSG, Newcastle or AC Milan. Could be Leipzig. Could be Porto or Shakhtar Donetsk. I've said a lot of names there. But is there any team in particular? I'll give you mine now. I want Inter Milan. My cousins are Inter fans. That won't be the easiest. They're Champions League finalists. But I just love that trip to Milan. We haven't faced them in a long, long time. I think since winning their 5-1 at the San Siro, whatever it was. Anyone in particular you're looking ahead to and thinking, give me that tie?
It's not about nitpicking, I guess, which team we get. But I was thinking a little bit just during the second half today about the Champions League. Now, obviously, that we've secured qualification, and wanted to get your view on this, I guess, as well. With this kind of, I guess, developed style of football that we're seeing this year, being so defensively solid, and I think that we can all agree that that's significantly improved. Do you think that, like, looking forward into the Champions League at potential difficult ties, you know, maybe if we progress to the quarters or the semis and we come up against your Bayern Munich or your Real Madrid, that we are better set up, let's say, to be able to go away to grounds like this and over 2 legs, 180 minutes, really be in these games? Like, I don't see an Arsenal team. Now, I have confidence in an Arsenal team that won't get blown away by these big boys. Now, I'm not saying this is going to be the year we go on and win the Champions League, but I do feel like the backbone of the team that we've now built and the defensive solidity that we've shown this season, I think it bodes well for us being able to be confident that we can compete over 2 legs against any team in Europe. That's honestly how I was trying to think about it this morning coming out of the game.
You go first.
Give me Copenhagen or Lazio, one of these, you know, light teams in the first knockout stage.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
And this is coming from someone that wanted a difficult team in the group, because I wanted that test in the group stage. Yeah,
well, there's a chance to make up
because playing away at Lens or Sevilla or PSV or, you know, these teams is different to playing Real Madrid, Bayern Munich or Manchester City, you know, home and away. So I'd like to kind of just get a team that, you know, for our first Champions League knockout game, in 7 years that, you know, we can comfortably beat home and away, hope for the best in other knockout games, and then see where we stand for the quarters.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just looking ahead to if we come up against these big boys, if you know the way I'm trying to think about it.
Yeah. So you mentioned the style of football, and I had a theory that popped into my head a few days ago that our style of football, we talk about it being great over a 38-game season. We hope, like, that's the theory, that it, you know, basically with a more defensively solid, the margins go our way. If you apply that to one game in the cup, like, those fine margins can swing either way and it can go wrong. But if you apply that over 2 legs, the margins swing more in your favour, because if you are a team that doesn't create as much, well, an extra 90 minutes is more opportunity to create. If you're a team that concedes very little, that may well stay the same. Let's put it this way. If we kind of create 2 good chances away from home and concede 1 good chance away from home in the Champions League knockout, and again, we maybe, with the chance we've had, we should have won 2-0. We've actually drawn 1-1. I think that same performance in the first leg, you probably will get over. Like, the margins will fall in your favour more. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
I understand it.
Like, in theory, it just widens that chance of it going your way, because you're limiting them. You're not creating that much, but you're creating just enough in both games. So it should it's more opportunity for it to swing in your direction. I'm really fascinated by what we do away at a Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. Like,
I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, like, do we look? It's almost a game that obviously I'll watch as a fan with great hope and stress and tension, but I'll also watch it in a more relaxed, like, I'm not seeing this and I don't know what to expect of the team, and I don't think it'd be right for me to have great expectations of the team. I'm just very interested to see it, if that makes sense. And I'd be as intrigued as I would be, like, immersed as a fan.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I can't wait. Listen,
I'm
we've come from
buzzing
tough
about that,
times.
'cause you think back to the round of 16 when we got knocked out to Bayern Munich those couple of years, and obviously as a fan you're still excited because it's a Champions League knockout, but inside you know the level of, I guess, the challenge and the discrepancy between the teams at that point in time. I'm fascinated to see what this Arsenal can do in these games, because I actually am optimistic about it. And going back to your point, James, on the squad, I think I completely agree that I think at the start of next season you're going to see a completed, but I want to use the word squad, not first 11. The reason I say that is because you still see links to players like Douglas Luiz from Aston Villa. So I think Mikel Arteta is really thinking about this in terms of a squad, in the similar way that you've seen Guardiola make a squad at Man City, in that in certain games you'll be able to have a different dynamic in midfield. For example, if we were to get a player like Douglas Luiz, and some games you might see a more of a double pivot type thing with him and Rice, and other games you'll want to play Havertz and Odegaard in front of Rice at the base. And I think we have a squad that's starting to accept that as well. I mean, we've seen a lot of different starting 11s this season. And I agree that at the start of next year, I think with 1 or 2 marquee additions, you're going to see the squad that he was probably envisaging maybe 3 years ago.
Yeah, I hope you're right. Mate, thank you so much for calling. Really appreciate your thoughts and some good discussion there as well.
Have a good night.
Always a pleasure. Production really just cut him off.
Oh. And it's probably not night there, it's afternoon or something. I don't know what time it is.
Let's get our final caller or callers. I believe we might have 1 or 2 more. Javi, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, gentlemen. It's been a while since we last spoke, so it's very good to see you both. I hope you're doing well.
Has been a while.
All good.
That was a very comfortable night. Like, the feet up, as Cecil's literally were. It was just chill.
Yeah, it was. And it's funnily enough, I texted some of my friends. I was like, oh, Jesus, now I got to watch Arsenal play the most boring football for the next 90 minutes and then go ahead and... So I'm glad they finally, put on the kind of performance that was entertaining, and just hopefully, more of that in games to come, man. More of that.
Kai Havertz went up a few levels today, which was good.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when he scored that goal against Brentford, I think, Turkish, you said that this is the opportunity for him to kick on. And I think this game showed that perhaps there's signs that he's going to do exactly that, So it's good to see that he got that last-minute winner. And then today he goes ahead, bags himself another goal, and looked lively. Hopefully he can build on this. I think, who do we play next? Is it Luton our next game? If I'm not
Wolves
mistaken?
and Luton.
Wolves at home. All right, yeah. So that should be the kind of game that start him again, give him another 90 minutes, and see if he can actually kick on and make that number 8 role his. So 2, I think, very decent performances from him, and hopefully he kicks on and can finally deliver for us, and we'll finally have the midfield that we need to go ahead and compete across all competitions.
Javi, I know you pay a lot of attention to other European football as well, and I wanted to know kind of what you make of Arsenal, how they look as a Champions League outfit, because I do see differences apart from just obviously the natural tournament format, but in like the demands for a Premier League win to the demands of a Champions League, it does feel like it's different. There's a reason City can rack up all those Premier Leagues but haven't got it done in Europe. How do we look to you compared to other sides as a Champions League outfit? Do you think we're looking a little bit ahead of schedule and actually quite ready to make a serious go at it?
I think the midfield is still lacking a little bit, if I'm completely honest with you. I think how much chopping and changing, how many different midfields have we seen this season?
Yeah.
But I think that when Timber comes back, especially having the likes of White, Tomiyasu, and Timber who can play in those fullback positions, I think we're probably looking at as like one of the best defensive outfits in Champions League and Europe in general. I think those guys making a back four, assuming you take Zinni out and you play either Tomiyasu or Timber there, with Declan Rice in that holding position, that's a tough outfit to get through. But it's when our midfield has gotten overrun that we've been looking vulnerable in the back. So that's why I think it's either going to require Havertz stepping up, but even then, one injury to him, and you have Emil Smith-Rowe behind him, which hasn't really pulled up any trees. I think his Arsenal career is looking like it's coming to an end. So I think really it's just going to come down to making sure we can address either a holding midfielder that can rotate with Declan Rice and we can push him up when needed in certain games, or someone who's a bit more of a hybrid that can play actively in both roles. I think Zubimendi is one we've been linked to and is one that I really like, one that we've been, sort of on the radar for a while now. And hopefully we get that done. But I think once we get that through the door, then I think we're in a very, very good spot.
Yeah, fair, Javi. There's a super chat just come through that I actually think it's a great question for you, and it actually is a complete coincidence. It came through right now, and it builds on what I was asking. But Landon asks, would Real Madrid leave Saka and Martinelli 1v1 against their fullbacks? I have a feeling we are likely to see the performance be like City at home. I don't even mean City when they beat Real Madrid 4-0, because that'd be pretty unbelievable. But what's your kind of general thoughts on how these other European giants would approach a game? Like, would they show us respect, or would they say, relax, you respect us, we know what we're doing here?
No, they'll show us respect. And you look at like a team like Real Madrid, you look at their wingers, they're very tricky. Our wingers are very tricky. So then where do you think that battle is going to be won? In midfield. That's going to be the difference maker for them.
The suppliers, what I mean? Who gets the control to get the best out of them.
Yeah, because, I trust, let's say a Tomiyasu and a Saliba sweeping up in behind him against Vinicius. And I also trust perhaps a Timber on the left-hand side with a Gabriel sweeping up behind him. And, they're more than capable as well with their defenders to take care of our guys. So then, where are you then going to see that competition really make the difference? It's going to be in that midfield. And Real Madrid has more than enough physique and power and talent in that midfield, and also a mix of experience as well, where they can definitely dominate us in that aspect. So I think that even against some of these European giants, it's the midfield where we're really lacking. Because I think our greatest strength is probably that dynamism that we have in our wingers, but Real Madrid has nothing to be envious of when you look at how tricky theirs are. So that's where I think it's really kind of come down to. And listen, lots of talks about a striker. I've wanted a striker for a very long time, but at the same time, I'd say that Trossard's best position for Arsenal Football Club is when he starts as that false nine. So to me, he's Jesus' natural understudy. I'd say move along from Eddie Nketiah in January, get the funds, and I'd say it's probably better to get a proper right winger who can rotate with Bukayo, and because Reece Nelson is the most similar to Martinelli in terms of pace, style, dribbling ability. Trossard is the most similar to Jesus. And Bukayo Saka doesn't have a natural backup. So I'd say I'd rather get that backup for Bukayo Saka and finally move on from Eddie, and then address that midfield position and have more than enough cover. That's what I would do. And then in the summer, I can either move on from Trossard and finally get in that long-term striker and have Jesus be that number 2 or that different profile. That's what I'd do. Yeah, but something that I want to remind you of, gentlemen, I know that you guys are tired of having this conversation, but I don't think you should ever rest on it. And Turkish, I actually got to challenge you on this a little bit. The whole Raya Ramsdale situation, everyone is super tired of it. And, Turkish, I know you said you don't really care about feelings, and fair enough. But Arteta lied to us. Arteta lied to us, and we shouldn't let that slide, because had he said, yeah, Raya's going to be my number one and Ramsdale's going to be phased out, we all would have said, this is unnecessary. This didn't need to happen. Ramsdale was one of the players that actually allowed us to fall back in love with this football club again, and that shouldn't be forgotten. And so he lied to us as a fan base, told us that it was going to be horses for courses, that they were going to compete for it, and that clearly wasn't the case. And I don't know about you, but I'm not happy with the manager lying to me.
But
and all this
doesn't
crap
he have
about
to
family
lie?
values and togetherness, and I want to create a reconnection back with the fans and the players and all this bullshit. And you're over here grabbing Kai Havertz by his neck and taking him across the field so that everyone can sing Kumbaya and Waka Waka AA, even though he's been absolute dog shit. And a guy that you brought in and that was phenomenal for us and that we fell in love with, you're going to kick him out the back door like some, hooker you just picked off the back of the street. And even if you want to look at it as a business transaction, at one point last season, Ramsdale was considered to be the most valuable goalkeeper in the world.
Okay, but so my rebuttal is Arteta can't say in a press conference, Raya's coming to be number one and Ramsdale's just going to have to suck up. He can't say that in a press conference, can he?
Nah, he's not a politician. Like, you're running a football club, relax.
I don't know. I feel like I think there's a lot of that though.
When he challenged it, when he publicly, as a young manager who had achieved, I don't want to curse, but had achieved nothing. Okay, when he publicly challenged Aubameyang, he was ballsy about it. When his team couldn't buy a point, let alone a win, and he got in front of the press and he said, "I'm here, hit me," he was ballsy about it. But now you want to be a coward about how you're treating the goalkeeper situation and lying to us fans.
But Aubameyang's different because Aubameyang, there were disciplinary issues in terms of turning up late and whatever it might be, and he felt he had tangible things to go, this is why I'm making the decision. And he also couldn't replace him mid-season. It kind of happened, and then he just had to face, he had to explain very clearly he's not playing for this reason. With this one, say Raya picks up a knee injury day one, in goal for Arsenal, and Ramsdale's going to walk in going, oh, what, now you want me? He has to send the message that it's a fair fight, and we learn through his actions that it's not. I get what you mean. I just think lying is strong. He did PR on us, and yeah, okay, he did lie, but I kind of understand why. I've got two issues, and I will say very quickly, because I don't want to really flog a horse or whatever. My issues are if it's true what Ramsdale's dad said about no conversation being had about why he's lost his place. I think every player, especially what Ramsdale's done for us, deserves the conversation. Just from a professional perspective, this is how you improve, and this guy does it better, so he is playing. I would think that just benefits everyone, hit the club, the player, whatever. The second thing is I think he deserved to play tonight, Ramsdale. I think he deserved a start at the Emirates for Arsenal in the Champions League. I think he deserved that. And that's a sentimental call, but Lens did nothing. We just beat them 6-0. I think I've been proven right that starting it would have made absolutely no difference today, though I actually thought Raya played well. I thought his distribution looked good today. So, yeah.
My thing on it is, obviously, I said I don't care about feelings, and I don't... I just can't judge the situation until May, Javi, and that that's what I've learned over when we bought Ben White and Ramsdale. I judged the situation then for what it was, and I was massively wrong, because 2 years on, Ben White's one of my favorite players, and Ramsdale's been a key part of our improvement over those years. Reason I'm not going to judge it till May, because if you bring me a Premier League title or a Champions League title, I don't give a shit what you decided to do with the goalkeepers, and I don't care if you lied about it either. Yeah. But if it unfolds, and at this point now, I think it's done more harm than good. But if it unfolds and then come May, we don't win a major, we have fallen off, it doesn't match up to last season, and our goalkeeper situation's a mess, then I'm going to look back and be like, whoa, Mikel, I've been patient. We waited the season. What the fuck was that all about? Then I'll bring it back. And it's not me questioning him because of Ramsdale's feelings. I still don't care. Probably football's professional sports, not only companies at the highest level. It's a ruthless world. Yeah. So at the end of the day, you're a highly paid professional football player.
He got his opportunity through Arteta's ruthlessness. Leno wasn't a problem, not for where we were. You think playing out the back was what was going to take us from 8th to, a Champions League. Right, like it was a part of it, but there were so many things we were getting wrong. So Ramsdale's benefited from that ruthlessness. So to a degree, I hear what you're saying, because he was so like, no, I'm going to reinvent tactics and goalkeeping, and I want to, and whatever, and that's clearly been proven untrue. I think he could have ran with more of a line of, Raya's a brilliant goalkeeper, and I want them to fight it out, and that we probably would have just accepted that. So I maybe that's as much as I'd agree, but I don't know. I don't agree with it sort of being such a bad thing that he lied to us about it. I don't think he had many other options.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I just, I would ask you guys to just not shy away from it and continue to have the conversation, because it is one worth having, and whether you wait to mayor it or not, I don't think it was done correctly, and I don't like my manager lying to me. And yeah, I love Ramsdale, but I also love Kieran Tierney. He was my favorite player. He was my screensaver, and he's the guy I wanted to be Arsenal captain. But when he moved on, I understood what was best for Arsenal, and that's why I wasn't upset about it. But if Ramsdale ends up leaving, whether in January or in May, when I think it was completely unmerited, I don't think I would be happy about that, because he is one of the players that allowed me to really fall in love again and not just support this club for the sake of supporting it.
Fair enough, man, and it's appreciation for Ramsdale and his work, so I hear you. Javi, thanks for joining us. Always great to chat, man. Thank you.
Love,
bro. Of course, guys. Hope you guys are doing well. Speak soon.
Absolutely,
Come on, take care.
Speak soon. And our final caller is... Hello, how are we?
Hello. Hi, guys.
You must be happy. 6-0.
A quick point about fluidity, that the image speaks to electricity. And what we talk about, what we want from Wenger ball, was this idea of creating a continuous current, like a network of connections that stretches across the pitch. And what I see happening a lot more this season, it's reflected in today's game, is more of a sense of static electricity, that we're scoring more chaotic goals. Like 3 or 4 of the goals today really came from the fact that you had our people moving in the area, ready to pick up on loose balls that drop, fortunately. And that's a kind of electricity that's not quite the same as the purely elegant type of play we saw in the Wenger years, but it's just as effective. And it's just a different form of fluidity. The other point I wanted to make, Dini has spoken in the past about what it's like to watch a game when you have to be at work. And today, like it often is with these weekday games, I'm stuck at work on a boring Zoom, and the only information I'm getting about the first half is from notifications coming in on my phone, which means by the time I get to the pause streaming service, I already know at what time counter the goals are coming. So it's like I'm looking forward to things, knowing that I'm going to see wonderful, exciting, incarnations of the goal that my phone told me about. But I don't have any sense of free will anymore. I feel almost betrayed that the team could do this without my input. And that's the hard part of watching a game when you're sort of like asynchronous, when you're spaced in time separate from the actual real-time experience of the game.
I think you need to turn the notifications off on that app.
You mean it hasn't really happened until I actually see it?
Fair enough. Yeah, basically. Like you just watch it without any messages coming through.
I can't live like that. No.
Can you not see that?
No.
I'm the opposite. I can't not live like that. If I'm going to watch the game, I've got to watch it. And every attack, I've got to feel like it could end in a goal. Because if I haven't seen the notification pop up, I'm watching it going, I know we don't score here. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, only for the biggest games I'd do that. I mean, if it's like a Champions League semi-final, second leg or final, then if my stream's a minute behind, I'm not fucking waiting to see it. I'm putting on my notifications.
Are you?
Yeah, bro, I don't give what.
Well, nah. but then you know what you're watching is like, it's confirmed. It's so I don't know how to explain it.
The big games I need to know immediately.
Really?
Immediately.
You not 1 minute.
Immediately.
Where's patience gone? Just quickly, your man of the match, Michael.
Is Jorginho, because his was the only goal I saw live.
Well, What do you think
If
of it?
it's not all about me, then why am I even watching? You know?
It's about the fans' experience. That's what we're here to promote on the channel. So listen, I can't begrudge that. Have you got some Shakespeare to round us off?
Oh, fearful meditation, where, alack, shall time's best jewel from time's chest lie hid? Oh, none, unless this miracle have might, that in my streaming service on pause, my love may still shine bright.
And they do say that, streaming first started in the Shakespeare era, so that's a very poignant quote. Thank you so much for joining us.
Top of the group, guys. Top of the league. See you
It's looking
soon.
good.
Care,
Enjoy it. In a bit, my friend. Always a pleasure. You lot are nuts. I love you all. You're fantastic. Remember, you can join us on Fanzone. We're running one tomorrow, and the big topic is sin bins. We know that that's happening, always being trialled at professional level. We all know your thoughts. Robbie and Laurie will be running the stream. Looking forward to it. It's a later one, 7 p.m. UK time, I believe. So do download the app and join for a nice evening chat on everything going on. You don't want to watch Europa League football. Whoa.
Don't.
You don't miss it, no?
No.
Spotify Wraps come out today.
I know. I checked mine already.
Yeah, have you? I've checked mine.
Yeah.
I think it was PME who I follow on Twitter. The guy who loves Pablo Mari on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's something like 2,000 hours Europa League theme tune. I mean, it must have been a joke.
It must have. He must have edited that. He must have.
Someone else had something which was like, hold on, no. I know I'm logging it out, and I know that production want to go home. But let me just find this really quickly because it killed me. This was it. You get my top songs, my top artists, my top podcast, my top commentator, Peter Drury. You spent 4,028 minutes listening to him say things he could have said in 2,847 minutes.
Who put that up? The Pablo Mari guy?
No, Johnny Sharples.
Look at the picture as well.
With a picture of you spent 4,000 minutes. This is something you could have said in 2,000.
We're going to be seeing a few of these over the next week or so for sure.
Oh my God, that was genius. All right, everyone, sorry.
Oh yeah, quick reminder, Forever Arsenal will be out tomorrow nice and early. It's not live this week, but we are recording it at 8 a.m. and it will be out shortly after that. So put a notification bell on, make sure you're subscribed, and when it's out and you'll be notified.
The best show on AFTV behind Tactical Insight, no question about it.
Best show on YouTube behind the Big Six, no question about it.
Subscribe to AFTV. See you all very soon. We're top of the group, top of the league. Life's good. In a bit.
For the love.